so the Chiefs get back into the win column with a 42-30 win over the Philadelphia Eagles in Philadelphia. So I guess I'll start off by saying this. The offense, for the first time this year, I feel like played up to their potential. The Chiefs only had 1 turnover this game as opposed to the 4 last week against the Los Angeles Chargers. Besides that 1 interception, Patrick Mahomes played phenomenally with 5 touchdown passes and 278 yards. A part of this phenomenal play from Mahomes this week was Tyreek Hill, who had 186 yards, 3 touchdowns. I am glad I did not have to play against him in fantasy this week. Chiefs offense played how the Chiefs offense should play. Should have won last week against the Chargers. Would have been a pretty easy win if not for those 4 turnovers. Hell, you take one of those turnovers away, we're talking about a 3-point game there. Anyways, can't change the past. We move on. Clyde Edwards-Helaire, who I complained about a lot last week, rebounded in this game. However, to me, he's just unimpressive. I'm sorry. I think a part of his performance this week had a lot to do with how bad the Philadelphia run defense is. They were just getting ran on all game long from the Chiefs. The Chiefs don't necessarily have a good run defense, like at all. So I think that really just goes to show that maybe the Philadelphia run defense is just a dumpster fire. But not as much of a dumpster fire as the Kansas City Chiefs' current defense. I mean, holy shit. I'm going to talk about it every week this season, up until the Chiefs season is over. Like, I'm just going to continue to talk about how horrid this defense is and how frustrating it is to have to watch this defense with my own 2 eyes every single week. I mean, it's pathetic. I mean, we're talking 2018 all over again. I keep saying it. I keep referring back to 2018 because it's a good reference. 2018 was a terrible season for the Kansas City Chiefs defense. I mean, they were like last place in the league. They were terrible. I mean, this was a Philadelphia Eagles team who's not necessarily known as a high-scoring offensive team. I mean, this team is led by a rookie, Jalen Hurts, who, by the way, going into this game, had the 2nd most rushing yards of any quarterback in the NFL this season, only behind Lamar Jackson. So when I heard that stat, I knew the defense was going to give up a lot of points. I didn't really expect to lose this game, only because the Chiefs needed a rebound. And on top of that, the Eagles are not a very good football team. So I knew that the Chiefs could have taken advantage offensively this game. And that's exactly what happened. The Eagles had a garbage time touchdown pass with 4 seconds to go in the game. Philadelphia scored a touchdown. So although it shows that we won by 12, you take away that last second garbage time touchdown, it was really a 42-23 final. So I just figured I'd throw that out there. But nonetheless, the defense still gave up 30 points to this team, which kind of tells me that for the Chiefs to win any game this year, you have to score at least 31. At least 31. And if you're going up against a high-scoring offensive team, you're probably going to have to score 40 at the very minimum if you want a chance at winning. That's how bad this defense is. Now, a lot of people have been talking about Patrick Mahomes throwing a lot of interceptions so far this year. There's a reason, I think, behind that. And that reason is because I genuinely believe that Patrick Mahomes knows that his defense is not good. I think he knows that he has to score a lot of points. I think he knows that anytime the defense is on the field, they're likely going to give up a touchdown drive. So with that being said, every Patrick Mahomes interception this season has come on 3rd down. With this knowledge Mahomes has about how bad the defense is, I think he's purposely making risky throws on 3rd down because it's either that or he punts it and the defense likely gives up a touchdown. In my opinion, I think it's better to throw a high-risk play on 3rd down to get the first rather than throwing a weak play like a check down on 3rd down, forcing 4th and having to punt. Because either way, if you throw an interception or if you punt, either way, there's a high chance the defense will give up a touchdown. So in that case, I'd much rather risk an interception. I think that's a logical reason as to why Mahomes has been throwing more interceptions than usual. Oh, and for the record, on that Chargers recap last week, there were a lot of Chargers fans and even a couple Chiefs fans putting words into my mouth. Stuff I never argued, stuff I never said. Just throwing stuff in there, like points I never even talked about. Like, oh, well, maybe this and that. It's like, Jesus. Some of you guys really find reasons just to argue with me. It's actually kind of comical. If you want to argue, make an argument point out of what I said in my video, not stuff I never talked about. I think the offense played fantastically this game, and regarding that final score, 42-30, let's not forget that in the first half of the game, the Eagles fumbled the football, went unnoticed by the ref crew of this game, and the Chiefs decided not to challenge it. And then what would happen? Well, the Eagles would score a touchdown. So had the refs noticed or had the Chiefs challenged, which they would have won, you're taking another touchdown away from the Eagles. Perhaps you're putting up another touchdown for the Chiefs. And then to end the first half, the very final play of the second quarter, Chris Jones forces a fumble and completely botches it. completely botches the pickup. I mean, it bounced off the ref's back, which was kind of funny, but Chris Jones, he fucked that up. If him or somebody else could have picked that up cleanly and not like muffed it a bunch, then perhaps that could have been a touchdown as well. You never know. You never know with this what if stuff. But just two observations there: the Chris Jones play to end the half and the Philadelphia fumble that wasn't. So that's where I'm going to leave it for this week's Chiefs recap. We have the Buffalo Bills next week in Kansas City, AFC Championship rematch on primetime Sunday Night Football, and I am ready. I am so ready to get our ass kicked. Seriously, I don't expect to win this game at all. The Chiefs beat the Bills twice last year, mind you. Once in Buffalo, once in Arrowhead. However, I don't feel confident this time around because this defense is atrocious. And you look at the numbers the Bills have been putting up on offense this year, it's insane. The Bills just beat the Houston Texans 40 to 0. Now, I get it. It is the Houston Texans. But putting up 40 on any team is not the easiest thing to do. The prior week, they put up 43 against the Washington football team. Again, you can make the argument, well, it's the Washington football team. But still, putting up 43 isn't easy. And don't forget, the week before, they shut out the Miami Dolphins 35 to 0. So the Bills have been playing outstandingly. And if you ask me, they're my Super Bowl favorite right now. But again, it's early, and every single year, early on in the NFL season, there's some surprises that don't end up staying consistent. Some teams start off terribly and then end off the season really strong, and some other teams, the opposite happens. So it's always very unpredictable and very hard to read and hard to judge based off the first 4 weeks of the NFL season. But what I do know is the Bills are not a bad football team, and we know this because they made the AFC Championship last year. And what I also know is that the Chiefs offensively are a very good football team. Expect this to be one of those games where the losing team scores more than 40 points. Yeah, it's going to be one of those games, or at least I expect it to be. So with that being said, I'll see you next week for the Bills game. Again, my current prediction is that the Chiefs lose. So I guess with that, that's it. Go Chiefs. This is your boy Chiefs Race Bolts. I'll see you next week. Peace out.